Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Defenders Live. I am your host, Lora Thorson. If you've spent any time around women in the firearms community, there's a good chance you've heard of a girl and a gun. What started as a small women's shooting club has grown into one of the largest organizations of its kind in the country. A Girl and a Gun helps thousands, even tens of thousands of women become more confident, more capable, and part of a community that keeps them coming back. Joining me today is Robyn Sandoval, President and CEO of A Girl and a Gun. She's an educator, a competitive shooter, and an advocate for women. She's spent the past decade helping lead that growth, building an organization that blends firearms training, personal safety education, leadership, and community in a way that's changing lives both on and off the range. Today, we're going to recap this year's national conference, and you're going to learn why more women than ever are stepping into the shooting sports. And we're also going to explore what happens when confidence earned on the gun range starts changing the rest of your life. If you don't want to miss another episode, head to defenders-live.com and become a free subscriber. That way, every new episode gets delivered straight to your inbox. And if you're looking for top-tier firearms and self-defense training, go to defenders-usa.com and check the calendar to see what's coming to your area this year. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I was going to look up the last time you were on. I think it's been at least a year.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You've grown a lot in your endeavors and all the training you're doing and the interviews you're doing.
Yeah, I know. It just keeps going.
Yeah. Talk about leveling up. It's been really awesome to watch your journey.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really been a cool journey. And gosh, I think you were on when I was early in the podcasting career. Like, I had zero clue what the heck I was doing. And you still were so kind to come on and, humor me. So thank you for that. When I was still, really wet behind the ears then.
I mean, it's all a learning process, right? When we know better, we do better. And I'm always glad I always am grateful for the opportunity to talk to anybody about A Girl and a Gun, and if I can just reach one of your listeners and introduce her to A Girl and a Gun, it would have been far worth it.
Yeah. And the story that you shared last time you were on the show was really touching too, because you talked about your daughter. I'm going to ask you a question probably towards the end of the interview about your daughter as well, for those of the people that didn't see you the first time. Because every time, even if someone is on again, I try to reintroduce them to the audience just in case they might not have seen you the first time. And so I think in that regard, it might be wise of us to not assume that everyone knows what A Girl and a Gun is, even though I'm really familiar with it and you live it day in and day out. Let's get to the bottom of, the heart of, the mission of A Girl and a Gun.
Yeah, A Girl and a Gun is a women's club. It's the largest women's gun club in the country. We have over 35,000 women across the country that come and shoot with us. We do pistols, rifles, shotguns. We help you be a better defender. We help you to be a better competitor. And most important, we just help you try to inspire you to live your best life. And that's through firearms education, competition, and community. So basically, we provide a pathway for women to come out and join us, to learn more, and to really learn whatever endeavor suits them, whatever platform they want to learn, whatever sport they want to learn, or whatever skills they want to develop. We give them opportunities for that.
And Robyn, I mean, you do it in such a unique way, though, because you are so good at leading the women who are leading the women, who are leading their little packs all across the country. And without your leadership and your organization, and I don't mean your organization like isn't in the company, but your detailed approach to that pathway, those leaders would not be able to lead their little groups as well. And you've provided, I've noticed, like just a really clear, direct path that's easy to understand for women, especially women that are new to the scene. Because that's one thing, is like the barrier to entry into shooting sometimes for women can be a really big leap. And it seems like you really help soften that blow and really get like-minded women around them really quickly and really just encourage them and not judge them for where they are. Just meet them where they are on the path and then just be like, hey, let's do this now. You want to try this? That's what I love the most about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's not me really directing that as much as it is just me attracting like-minded women who believe in the passion and purpose that we have, and love the structure and the standards that we have. A lot of ladies have joined A Girl and a Gun because of the high standards that we require. And so they know they're coming for quality leadership. They're coming for quality training, and just knowing that they have access to that training to help them move beyond, to be a better instructor, to have that instructor development and also leadership development that we offer continually. We just try to give them a lot of opportunities to level up. And it's, I'm just grateful and blessed to be surrounded by people who want to excel, who want to be that ever student and keep learning and keep training and keep growing and just be the best versions of themselves. It inspires others to want to do the same.
Yeah. I mean, being surrounded by badass women on a regular basis is like the best thing on the planet. I grew up like being surrounded. I always gravitated toward the guys more than the girls because I always thought there was more drama with the girls. And even when I went to the national conference for the first time, that was one of my fears. Like, I was afraid I was going to be surrounded by all these women. There's going to be all this drama. And it was not that at all. It was just amazing. Like, I did not meet one person there that I could not get to know or didn't want to talk to or any of that. I was really honestly surprised for a women's organization being like one of the guys my whole life. You know what I mean?
Most of us are those women that were one of the guys. So we really relate to each other in that way. And it really helps to have a values-driven community. We have our published values. We have 12 values of A Girl and a Gun. There's 12 letters in A Girl and a Gun, and each letter represents something that we value. It's to not only become better marksmen through our program, but to become better women, to create a strong community that is values-based and really helps, like I said, raise the standard, not just for our marksmanship, but really for just being a role model of who you want to be and the kind of community you want to be involved in. And I think that is really what makes all the difference. There's been, I'm glad you've noticed that. I'm very grateful and honored that you would notice that, because it wasn't by accident. It was a choice of the kind of community that we wanted this to be and the kind of values, really how we want to live them. No one has time for that.
I know.
Part of that. So,
totally agree.
And when you talk about, you brought up my daughter, she was her journey, and everything that we faced with her is really part of why A Girl and a Gun is the way it is. And so that's where our values came about. Was right before our national conference in 2015. Kiara was diagnosed with brain tumor. She was rushed into emergency surgery. Her brain was herniating. My little 5-year-old had just turned 5, and I held her and kissed her and watched her go into surgery and thought I might not ever see her again. And so I was in ICU when she got back, and conference. All these ladies were coming to Austin in less than a week for our national conference, and I couldn't be there. I had one focus and one only, and that was to really be a prayer warrior for my little girl. And it was one of those things when you're in that situation. I don't know if someone has faced cancer in their family or themselves, but you don't want to just be like, hey, God, tap, tap. You need a thunderous resolve. Like, you need an ocean wave of the most mighty prayer warriors that you can muster, because that's really the strength that gets you through those days. And I was so grateful that all of these women were coming to Austin that were strong, armed, capable, caring, just dedicated women. And that became my prayer army. And so they were at conference, and Kelly Moore walked in front of our leadership team, all of our facilitators that were gathered, and she wrote A Girl and a Gun on a whiteboard. And she said, what does a girl and a gun mean to you? And the ladies in the room wrote accepting, gracious, real, learning, impactful. So all of the things of our values, they just spelled it out from A Girl and a Gun. So I wasn't in the room when the values were created. That was for people who were living them already, that were seeing it, were seeing the work we were doing. But it just made it so much more real after that, because people realized what was at stake when we talk about protecting those we love. It's not always with our firearm, and it's not always when you're doing it alone. Sometimes it takes a whole community to get you through tough times. And that's why our motto is, it's more than shooting. That's where that came about. And so our values came from that. The way that I managed our team came from that. I no longer cared who liked who on Facebook or who was in what group. Like none of that mattered anymore.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a bad day meant something else. You know, if somebody was having a rough time, it really did quantify what a bad day looked like. And no one had time for anything that wasn't worth investing in. And that's really what created the A Girl and a Gun culture, the high standards, what we believe in. And I mean, that's how we operated for the past 15.
So
Well,
what could have turned out to be the worst time of your life ended up being a blessing in disguise in a way.
it really did show how a lot of times you don't know how God is moving in your life until after the fact. At the time, had I not gone full time to do A Girl and a Gun, I wouldn't have had the time with her to just drop everything and be with her. I would have still had a demanding 9 to 5. And so a lot of those things, although those were hard moments when I, left a career and jumped into firearms and was worried, it was a huge transition and all of that happened. And it turned out to be a huge blessing that I could really prioritize my time and be there for her when she needed me. And so those kinds of things you don't see until you're a little bit.
I love that. I love, like, you're not just showing your heart, Robyn, you're showing the heart of all the women who are in the organization. Like, it's just, that's what's so special about it. It's not just you leading it, you know, it's like it takes on this life of its own almost.
It really was. The ladies who were at that 2015 conference will never forget it, because there was a moment I wasn't there. Kiara had surgery. She had several surgeries, actually, one right after the other. We didn't know she was losing her vision. It was just a lot that was going on. We didn't know if she was herniating. If you've ever had anybody with traumatic brain injury or brain surgery, you have a lot of nystagmus and strabismus, and it looks like you're having a constant seizure. It was just the worst, darkest, most awful days of my life. And she got through kind of the hardest part. She was stable. And she couldn't walk, she couldn't speak, she couldn't talk, she couldn't swallow. It was just such a hard time. She was stable, and they said she's going to be okay. So my mother-in-law stayed with her, and my husband and my mom drove me out to conference just so I could say hi to all of these ladies that had been such a source of strength for me for the previous days. And I got there, I hadn't eaten, I hadn't showered in like 8 days. I hadn't eaten in 8 days. Like, I was a mess. And all these mothers knew and they understood. And so I walked into this tent, and I don't even remember, it was like a dream. All of a sudden I was sitting down with a plate of food. Nobody talked to me. It was like this weird, like, I could tell everyone was around me, but everyone was like, just leave her, like, let her eat. And then afterwards I stood up and I took the microphone. I said, I just can't tell you guys how much your prayers have meant to me. And someone said, hey, Robyn, you've got to come out here. And we all walked outside, and there was this amazing rainbow over the tent. And people were crying. It was just it sounds almost like, made up or cartoonish, but those who were there in 2015 know it. They know the rainbow when we talk about the rainbow. And we have pictures of it on our website. Someone took a picture of it, and I have that picture that I post often. But yeah, that rainbow was a sign that things are bigger. And there's been a lot of people throughout their own cancer journeys that have referenced Kiara's and said, this little 5-year-old took it on. I'm going to take it on. They wear their Girl in the Gun hoodies when they're getting chemo or radiation. They just feel that support of that community. And that is way beyond anything we could teach in terms of marksmanship. That is an inner strength and an inner belief that is really about changing lives.
When I hear you talk about your gratitude for A Girl and a Gun, now I get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten to those days without them.
And so,
and really and all the days since, really.
Yeah, because that's the way life is. I mean, there are dark times and there are great times, and that is just the way life is. And I, for one, can relate to that support and community of having people around you during those dark times, because I have a tendency to self-isolate whenever there are bad things happening for me. And just over this past winter, I had a pretty rough time myself, and I had to force myself to reach out to the people who I knew had my back. And I really think that's what pulled me through, that community. That's so needed.
Yeah.
We're all like a bunch of strong women, we're very like, I can do this myself. Well, yeah, but maybe you can, but man, it's a whole lot more rich. Life's a whole lot more rich when you have the courage to ask for help when you need it. You have the courage
Yeah.
to reach out to people that have your back. That's the way life's
There
meant
are
to be.
times, there are things in life that are so scary, it remains unspoken. And so it's nice to be in a community of women that can see your unspoken concerns. And there's a lot of times, and not just in a cancer journey, but in life and career and personal safety and just different transitions of motherhood or taking care of parents, or just some of those days when you're like, I don't know, I'm going to get through this. It's just nice when something is so scary and so hard that it remains unspoken. It's in your heart. You know that it is spoken. Someone else is speaking those words to heaven or to whomever needs to advocate for you.
They get it. They understand it. Yeah. On some level. Well, way to go deep right out of the gate, Robyn.
I know. I'm terrible at small talk. I either talk about personal safety, guns, pediatric cancer, like right away, all the time.
I love it though. That's totally what my show is about, because I have a hard time with just staying on the surface with things. So I appreciate you digging right into it, because I want to bring people on this show that have a mission in life, who have a heart of service, who are excellent at what they do, and you're all those things. So and so is your organization, all the women that are around you. So let's talk about the national conference. I am ashamed to admit I was not there this year.
You were not there.
I was not.
I had an tag for you.
I could not make it work. I was there the 2 years prior, and I don't think I could ever not go 2 years in a row. So next year is a for sure. But I heard from the girls that were there, and I got to hear about new instructors you brought in, new classes that were brought in. It sounds like you just keep expanding. You're constantly refining. Tell us about how this year was different.
This year was a little smaller, which was nice. We had some changes structurally, and we didn't open up as large as we had in the past. We kind of brought it in a little bit so people could really get that one-on-one time with instructors. We've always had one-on-one time, but it was often a little harder to get into the class you wanted because it would fill up. So we purposely kept it just under 700. And yeah, it was different. We did have some new classes. We did have some new instructors. I was just trying to think about what are some other things that we want to learn to diversify our skill sets. Yeah. What are some things I want to learn that I haven't been faced with, or different instructors that I've met that I've always wanted to train with. That's really important for me, that the Girl in a Gun conference is not just a copy paste of any other conference. I don't want anyone to look at our lineup and see it's the same friendly faces that we see throughout the industry. I really want it to be, oh, who's this guy? Or what's that woman? What is she teaching? What is this topic? I really want to be a place where people want to go to learn those new things. So this year we had knife maintenance. We had a grandmaster in knives teaching you how to edge your blade and to keep your edges and your honing and all of that stuff. For all of us girls that have our own knives, how do you keep a good edge instead of just like being with me and throwing it away and getting a new one? So that was a cool class. We also had a lock picking class, so that if you are in a place where you need to do a well check on your child or your parents or whatever, you need to get into a place, you have some tools in your toolbox to be able to get into anywhere you want to go. So that was a fun class. We have all the standards, concealed carry and basic marksmanship and 3-gun and clays and clay sports and all of those things. So it was just a matter of expanding more of them. We had some classes specifically for women on hormones and how they affect our body and our age and our mental capacity and our feelings and just everything about it. Yeah. That your body's not sabotaging you. This is just part of life, and how to understand it. So that was really reassuring and empowering for a lot of women. And we had a class on nutrition as well, to learn about different things to empower your body, to feed it good things and help it do right by it so it can do right by you. Yeah. So there were some other classes like that as well, in addition to all of the shooting classes and archery and hunting and gunsmithing and legal talks. And pretty much if you think it, we do it.
And you kept, did you keep the survival? I did that one. I did survival like year before that.
We have survival and land navigation and a couple of the other ones like that.
that's like checking every box I can ever imagine of things I'd want to learn.
Yeah, there's so many things. I've been wanting actually to get a lockpick instructor there for so long. This was the first year I actually got someone to agree to go.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they've always said we can't teach that to civilians. I guess they don't want us just breaking in anywhere, but I made a good case and I got him out there. So that was really good.
You made a good case. That's so funny. And I've noticed too in some of your emails you've been sending, like you let the members know, like, here's what's going on. Here's the growth. You're very specific about the growth. You're very transparent. And you send a report out after every national conference. Was there anything new this year, new to write home about? And the growth too, like just in the organization in general, has just continued to incline.
Yeah, I would say new, not really. Glock was still our top represented brand. They were represented 20% of all of the pistols that were there. The PDP from Walther was still the most popular model. I think that we're seeing some shifts though, as other handguns are getting into the market more, getting some traction. But the PDP is a fantastic gun, and a lot of ladies love their F series. And I was honored to be on the product development team with that. And Tatiana Whitlock was a big part of that. And so it's a fantastic gun. I'm looking through my notes really quick just to see what might be different. I keep waiting to see trends between dot colors. I know anecdotally, most of the training I have or the conversations I have, ladies are really moving towards green dots, but our data is not showing that. It was about 50% red and 42% green. So more
green than I would expect.
Well, I thought it would be more green. There's been more people saying that they pick up the green faster. And so it's just kind of nice to actually look at the numbers and see that red is still the predominant choice. I think last year it was closer to 50-50. So that means that red even came ahead this year, which was a surprise. Other than that, the same brands we're seeing, the same quality we're seeing. Fortunately, a lot of them are sponsors, and so they're participating with us in the industry. We have a lot of numbers. We've really been diving into data for the past couple of months. We have a new team member that's dedicated to data and analytics and looking at our member trends and looking at industry trends, just because we have 15 years of longitudinal data and attitudes about gun safety and coming into gun ownership and training. And so being able to track those trends for 15 years and really see what's changed, it's been really fascinating to be able to provide that to our partners.
Yeah, you have to get a data geek on your team. You have to have at least one, because the data can be really fun for me to see if it's like already on the chart or something. I can just see a visual, like 30,000 foot view of it, But if I just see a spreadsheet full of stuff, I'm like, I just get lost really fast. So speaking of trends, and I don't know if this is really a trend question, but is the woman that was coming to a girl in a gun 10 years ago or 15 years ago the same woman that's coming to a girl in a gun today?
I would say she's changed in several ways. The primary way she's changed is that the women today who are coming into a girl in a gun do not have any experience with firearms, whereas historically we saw that some of them had shot as children or had guns in their home, whereas now the women we're seeing had no gun experience at all. They have, as adults, made the purposeful decision to become gun owners and to bring guns into their household. And so they're learning information about what that means as part of a lifestyle. And so that's a little bit different. And also we were seeing more women. Back in the day, we saw more women who were coming into gun ownership as part of a family activity. They wanted to spend time with their husbands, their fathers, their sons. And now we're seeing more women who are the primary influencer in their household, that they're the first gun owner, the only gun owner, and that they're really leading all of the decisions and influence about market purchases in the gun industry. So that has definitely been a change. We're also seeing that before, women were motivated by different interests. Maybe it was self-defense or home defense. And now they're coming just because they didn't know that the opportunities existed before. And so that's really a primary motivator, is they just found out about them and they think it's cool and they want to learn it. So that's really fun.
I love that. And I know that isn't it statistically correct that just in general, more women own guns now than ever before? So that would make sense why your data is showing that as well, and why the organization would be growing.
Yeah,
So,
we've been growing since day one. And, 15 years ago, the industry looked entirely different than it does today.
yeah, everything is different.
Mhm.
I don't mean just in the gun industry, but everything is different. Like, I was
Yep.
thinking the other day, like, what happened to the 90s? Where did it go? I miss it. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh gosh. Okay, so we kind of went over the national conference. And by the way, for those of you that aren't familiar, that's held in Colorado every year. I assume it'll be in Colorado again next year. Is there any reason
Well,
why?
we outgrew all the ranges in Texas, so we moved
Yeah.
to Colorado, and we will be there until Colorado gun laws get weirder, and we're forced to move elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love the Grand Junction community. They really roll out the red carpet for us. They put welcome signs throughout the airport, and all the businesses look forward to the women coming in, and the range at Cameo is spectacular. Walt and his team are so hospitable and are such great partners for us to work with. So I hope to be there for a really long time.
Yeah, that venue is top notch. It's like if you were to go to Gun University or something. Like I left the Airbnb one morning and I remember telling the girls in the car, like, man, I wish this was like a 4-year university. I would just come here every day and get a degree in whatever thing gun related. Yeah.
It's different when a facility is designed and cared for by shooters. You can just tell when it's not just an owner, it's not just a land developer, it's somebody who is a shooter and knows what shooters want and can design it and build it. It's a spectacular place.
Yeah, it's a really special place. If you've been listening to Defenders Live and something in you knows it's time to go deeper, not just in your training, but in your life, become a paid subscriber of Defenders Live. Each month we meet for a live group call, having real conversations about physical growth, emotional discipline, and spiritual strength. You'll be part of a growing community of people just like you, committed to becoming true defenders of life and of their families. This isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, doing the work, and not doing it alone. So go to defenders-live.com and become a paid subscriber and take your next step toward becoming the kind of defender this world desperately needs. Is there a misconception, or has there been a common misconception about a girl and a gun that you could clear up for people? Or is it just about women shooters in general? I don't know. I just kind of wanted to explore that for a minute.
I don't know. I would say that over the past 15 years, the way a girl and a gun looks today is not the way it looked in 2011 when we were new and trying to figure out who we were and what we were doing. Mm-hmm. Even the massive transitions that happened in terms of our values and structures in 2015 was a big shift. But over the years, as we've added additional team members and really raised the bar to provide instructor development and industry partners and our range partners, we have a range relationship manager and all the things that we have in place now, I think that it's a vastly different club from what it used to be. So maybe that would be if there is a misconception, just for someone to be an invitation to take another look.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think people expect a girl and a gun to be a casual, like, bunko group for women. I don't think they realize how invested our women are, that these are super users. They're highly trained. They're educated consumers who spend 7 times more than the average woman spends on firearms. So I think that in some ways they are discounted. It is surprising to me. I did have an industry marketing manager, brand manager tell me at SHOT Show that they weren't going to invest in or become a partner with us and invest in be a sponsor of our events or invest in our community because they felt that their price point was too high, that our women weren't their customers. And that was such a surprise to me because our women spend so much. We have women that have very expensive firearms and very expensive gear, and several of them, depending on if they're competitors or defenders or what they're using them for, most of us have all of the above. So that was very surprising to me, and I felt like that probably is the most misunderstood part of our community.
Yeah. Did they have any reason to believe that? Had they looked at your data at all before they said that?
I don't think they looked at our data, but I wrote recently when I was watching The Punisher. I don't know if you saw the article that I kind of brain dumped onto our website.
No, I didn't get to read that.
I was binging The Punisher, this 2 series, and I was talking to John Hupman of Philster, and we're talking about data and customers, and I said that I was binging this, but I realized I was watching Disney Plus on my husband's profile. So I was like, Disney thinks that he's watching The Punisher. They probably think I'm watching Anna Green Gables or something.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about that in the gun industry. What if these women don't go to Optics Planet or Brownells or Magpul because their husbands already have an account? And so they just say, hey, here's what I want, log in and buy it for me, or let me just use your login and buy it. Mm-hmm. So maybe the women aren't represented in that data because we use their logins or their profiles. And I started thinking about how true that is. So I put out a survey to ask it, and it is a little mixed. It really just depends on if someone is the only gun owner in their family, then she's more likely to have the account. But if he is also a gun owner, he might have the account existing already, or they might have a shared account. Mm-hmm. So it's just something I'm going to dive into a little more, just out of my own curiosity. Mm-hmm. I think maybe if a company was to look at its CRM and only see 2% of women's names, or look at maybe their analytics on social media and it guesses that only 2% of their followers or supporters are female, then they're going to invest less in the female community. But I think that is misplaced, because I think we are really influencing and driving a good portion of their sales and not represented in their data.
Yep, that's a really good point. And it's very likely too, very likely, especially if the woman came on board with guns after the husband did. Which
yeah,
is
if he already has an account. I mean, I know that I will get 12 emails a day from some of these companies. So if he already has that account and gets those emails, I am all about him using his account. Yeah. I don't need more emails in my inbox. But I started thinking about it, like, we have the same Chick-fil-A app, we have the same Starbucks app, so like it would make sense that if you have a login, or if it's saved in your browser, that you jump on the computer and buy, it's not going to log it to you, it can log it to him. So does that skew the data? Now, I don't know that companies get that into the granularity of it, but it is interesting that maybe we're there, and maybe we're purchasing, and maybe we're influencing, and we're just not recorded.
They don't realize it. Yeah, that's very likely. So you talked about your daughter earlier. You talk a lot about confidence leading to competence through the organization, and about resilience, and about all the values that your organization stands for, and how Kiara had a role in that, not knowing, through her experience. I'm curious what you've learned from her about resilience, because I can't imagine anyone else that I can even think of that would have more resilience than a young woman like her at this stage in her life. And how has that impacted your leadership and your community with others?
Well, she's such an inspiration. I just think she's the coolest kid ever, the coolest young woman. She's 16 now. I can't believe it. She's going to be a junior in high school. But yeah, she's amazing, and she's planning her life without limits. And I'm so inspired by her all the time. She's the only girl on her high school wrestling team, and she's just not afraid to try. Wow. And I've learned a lot from her, and that she has a lot of support and a lot of help from the people in her community. She's blind. She lost her vision. And so the blind community has a lot of support and a lot of, opportunities and technology and things that they're trying to give her a better life. But just the fact that she's not afraid to jump in and try things or experience things, and keep a sense of humor about all of it. She's like the master of one-liners. When, I'll be like, I can't find my keys. She's like, I didn't see them. Just it's so funny. And just constantly, the other day I took her to our rifle retreat. We had a instructor development course on the AR-15 platform for 70 of our chapter leaders. And Adam is our range master, and he was looking for something, and I told him to do something. I forget the scenario, but I was throwing him under the bus, and he was like, Kiara, back me up, to do. And she's like, I didn't see anything. I'm completely out of, it's just, she's so funny, and she's always willing to communicate about that. She's getting better at it. She's always been very shy, but she's getting better at sharing her perspective. And I think a lot of people find it very inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. I just can't imagine. I keep trying to put myself in your shoes of that story that you were telling, and I just can't. I mean, I can empathize and I can sort of know what it's like, but until you're there, I just don't even, I wouldn't even know how to get through that. And then to be Kiara in this whole thing is to think about that, to think about being that age, going into surgery, and then now being a young woman who's blind. I mean, and she's shot guns, she's wrestling, she did I know she had craft projects she was working on, like she had her own little business going. Maybe she still does.
Yeah, she does. She has her own little jewelry business, and I think that she's the women of A Girl and a Gun definitely keep her in business. And so I'm like, she's doesn't really have the idea of capitalism as someone who's starting from scratch, because they just love her and they want to support her. But
how could you not, though? How could you not? Yeah. I wanted to, because you brought it up and it made me think of it. You guys do a lot more than just the national conference. You guys have events going on. I mean, locally, there are events going on all the time with the chapters. But as an organization, you have Sniper School, you have the Drift Academy, which I still really want to go to. I mean, every year, I'm like, God, I need to make more money. And then what are the other things too? Are there other events every year? I'm sure there's new ones coming online all the time that I don't know about.
Yeah, we have an event pretty much once a month that I get to host and go. Ladies either come to me or we meet somewhere at a destination. So this month we had our rifle retreat, which was our instructor development. Next month we will go to Fort Worth for our clays shoot. So we'll have 120 ladies out doing a registered shotgun shoot. So that's fun. Then in August, we have our sniper school and our gun prom. So that'll be fun. Cool. And then September, we'll be getting ready for 3-Gun University and Fall Fest. And then in November is our Back the Women in Blue law enforcement training. And then in December, we have our pheasant hunt. And then we start it all over again.
Wow. I didn't know that.
February, we have an exclusive Glock getaway, which is really fun. So you go and get, you go to Glock headquarters and you become a certified armorer. You spend a half day with their warranty department seeing all the DIY Dremel stuff that comes back into the factory. You take a factory tour, spend time with some of our friends at Glock, and then you spend a day on the range with the Glock professional instructors, and then some more time with the team Glock shooting some GSSF stages. So it's a really fun time.
There's something for everyone. Literally, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
All of that.
Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and sniper school. And we have our Drift Academy twice a year. It's so much fun.
You know, I got hate on the internet for the first time yesterday this is a side note, which may or may not stay in the podcast, for shooting 780 yards with a 223. And this person thought I was lying. They're like, don't you know there's a 5-foot holdover at 500 yards? I'm like, yeah. But like, why would I lie? Like, why would I post it if I didn't actually hit it? I mean, I guess somebody who's a liar would do that, but I would never even think to like, why would I post this great shot I took if I didn't actually like hit it? And they just couldn't believe that I hit it at 780 yards because it's a 223. It's such a small caliber.
Yeah.
And yeah, the holdover's insane. It's like lobbing a softball out there and like waiting for it to ting, you know, but it's possible. That's what I said. I go, I know it's crazy, but it's possible. And it totally is, you know, and I needed my husband to help me with it. I mean, he was in the spotting scope, like telling me what was going on. Otherwise, I probably would never been able. I think it took 6 shots to hit it the first time.
Well, once you understand the principles of it and, you know, all of it, I mean, it really depends so much on the caliber and the windage and the elevate, you know, all of that stuff goes into it. But anything is possible. It's a little round, but it's not like I
actually think a 223 is made to go that far. Like that isn't like what I would do every day. But for the tactical games, you have to get out to 700 yards.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it.
We close to that distance at Fall Fest every year.
With that caliber?
223. Yeah. Oh, okay. All of our ladies are shooting 223.
Okay, I'm not crazy then.
No, not at all.
Awesome.
You know what you're doing, and you know you're dope, and you know your optic.
I know. I just don't understand why people don't. I think like this whole thing about being a woman and being underestimated is like, it really gives me a rise or something, you know, when people start like talking like that. And it gives me lots of fuel, you know, because then when I go out and compete and just totally slay it, it's just like the best feeling on the planet, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of times though, it just makes me just be like, bless your heart. It just shows
Yeah.
how little they're exposed to. And
Right.
I feel like that's one of the things with the Girl and a Gun. I'm so lucky that I get to work with competitors of the highest, world
Mhm.
champions, and then with people who have worked in military law enforcement and civilian defenders, the highest levels. And so I'm really fortunate that when I develop our training and put things together for our ladies, I can pick and choose. I say, I really like how you say that. I really like how she shows this. And I
Mhm.
really want to pull this together
Mhm.
because I can craft that because I'm not in a silo. And so often Ellie will only train with Ellie, and military and competitors have a different, they're trying to game it. But
Mhm.
what can we learn from all these different aspects and these different, perspectives to make you a better marksman across the board? So,
Totally
and
agree.
all of it's context, but
Yeah,
there's definitely things to be garnered from people who are competing and training at the highest level.
totally agree. And I just think it's so hilarious that I just told you what I told you about that shot I made, and you had zero look of like surprise on your face.
No, not at all.
And this guy is over here like, you can't do that. Like, yeah, you can. That's what's crazy. It's like, don't underestimate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we see that at sniper school too. We have a little 6.5 round, and it's got 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's launching over a mile, and it's a tiny
Mhm.
little round. So, I mean, would a Lapua be, or a 308? Yeah, but we're using 6.5, and I can make it happen. I have to hold on a tree, on a cloud, on another cloud, and send it, and then there it is, right there on the steel.
Isn't that the most
And that
satisfying
magneto
thing?
speed flashes. You got it.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I wasn't like really much into long range, but my husband totally is. And I got to admit, I'm starting to get the bug. So that's dangerous though, because then that's a whole other rabbit hole, a new rifle, a new
Yeah.
everything. You know what I mean? So I
Well, if
won't
you
talk
come to
about it.
sniper school, you can use ours. We have loaners. So we have Savage 110s and precision, Ruger precision rifles. So you can use our loaners and see if you like it, learn how it works.
See if I like it. Come on, Robyn.
And then you can go buy something.
What's next, Robyn? What is next for A Girl and a Gun? Is there anything that you can reveal to us for next year's conference or anything new coming down the line?
Yeah, we've got some new things in the pipeline. Next year's conference will be Conquer 2027. We will be forging friendships and slaying dragons, and it's going to be really, really fun. So that's Conquer 2027 will take place at Cameo again the first week of May. And then, yeah, we have some new things in the works for next year. We have some new product designs, some new pistol pouches that are coming out, and some other things, gear that is designed for women, designed by women for women, things that we want that aren't just pink, but actually useful. That our ladies have specifically asked for, like I need a patch here because I use my patches or I have to sew them on. So we're like, well, we can make that. Or, my hands have arthritis. I need something to pull the zipper with on my pistol pouch. Okay, we'll incorporate that. So we designed a new pistol pouch. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Very excited about that. So yeah, we take a lot of the feedback ladies give us, and then we try to create just better gear, better experiences, and to make shooting more fun. That's really what it's all about, is to have gear that you're excited about and have opportunities. So we do have a couple things that are in the works for next year. I can't say what they are yet. Some new getaways, but
Really?
save your pennies. There's going to be some fun things. There's going to be some fun things announced.
I need to save so many pennies. That's so exciting. I love that you guys you're not even, I wouldn't say reinventing, but you just keep refining, expanding. And you have, like you said, of such a unique perspective into this world from so many different paths that
Mm-hmm.
you can bring to the women of the organization. And that is so incredibly unique because I'm not sure if that exists in any other person. So you're able to provide opportunities for women in a way that no one else can. And I just love it. Every time I think about national conference, I just get excited thinking about it. And that isn't me just being like rah rah Robyn Sandoval. No, that is just how I feel about it. And like I said, I was surprised the first year. I was really pleasantly surprised, and I had the time of my life. And I can't believe how fast a week can go by. It's like it's just poof and it's gone. Like, what happened? So, and I met a lot of new friends as well. And everybody thinks I'm an extrovert, Robyn, but I am not. I am an introvert who can pretend to be an extrovert for so long.
Everyone thinks I'm an extrovert too, and I'm the same.
Yeah. Yeah. But I did meet new women that actually like are still my friends that, were valuable relationships. And
Yeah.
I remember just being on the range with complete strangers that I didn't even know in a class. By the end of the class, we were all perfect friends and they were all cheering for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone was cheering for everyone. There wasn't somebody in there that was just like, oh, I can't believe you did that, and that was just so refreshing to see. It really is that way. And it's like, I keep repeating it because I think people can't believe that could actually be real in a women's organization, but it actually is.
I'm having the same reaction to you hitting the long range target. I'm like, yeah. I know. It's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we know. But if you guys don't know yet, go to agirlandagun.org, check out what they have to offer. Follow Robyn on Facebook and Instagram. It's worth taking a look at. If you're even just curious, I know that you could probably reach out to her or any of the chapter leaders, facilitators. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. Chapter facilitators, all of them that I've ever met are really wonderful people, solid, top-notch women who really care about helping you. And so there's no reason to be shy or hesitate or have second thoughts about it. Just go dip your toe in and try it out. You'll be glad.
Thanks, right? Lora. I hope they heed your advice.
I hope so too, because I mean, at this point in my career, I'm on year 5 I think I'm going into year 6 now. If you guys don't trust me by now, you're probably not going to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to bring you somebody that I don't believe in.
Thank you. I really do love our program. I love everything from our color tracks and our shooting journal and the pathway we give people when they don't know where to start and it can be kind of overwhelming. Mm-hmm. We try to break it down and say, here's step 1. Here's where you start. Now follow the little Candyland path and you'll be on your way. And then you'll have a place for you to look back and celebrate your achievements and still have an idea of where you're headed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important for women to feel like they have some guidance in that. And then we have our marksmanship program that helps you develop skills and you get little awards as you go. And so we have so many programs that are just plug and play that allow people to go. And we have our quarterly match that lets you compete on a local level. You can just submit your scores to our national leaderboard. So whether it's competition or defense or marksmanship, we have these things that you can do on the local level too. You don't have to come hang out with me, although I hope you will. But there's just a lot of really great programs that are thoughtful, that are successful, that have been refined, that I'm really, really proud of. And I hope all ladies find a chapter. If they don't have a chapter near them, they can join our national e-chapter and participate with us. That way, everything's kind of like mail ordered or virtual. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different opportunities that people can have. And I just hope that they check us out and learn about us and they find value in us. That's really the important thing is when someone joins a club, they just expect to like get a membership card and that's it. Once a year, they just get a request for another renewal. And it's always been very important to me that we provide value. So we have our partners with our industry partners that offer discounts to our ladies. We have our Training Tip Tuesday where you get some tips in your email. We have all of our virtual events. I host pretty much a virtual event each week on a different topic. Either I do or someone on my team does. And so there's just a lot of ways you can participate as much or as little as you want. You can do the push-up challenge. You can do, if you want to learn some fitness, if you can join the book club, if you want to do some more mindset, mental flex. So there's just something for everyone. And I'm just really proud of our programs and how they all complement each other and grow on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And your women are great. You attract the right kind of women. You just really do. That's just the bottom line. So if you are like us, you're watching, and you're like, I really like those 2 girls. Well, then that's how you know if you'll fit in or not, because that's just how we are. So
yeah, we're pretty real. That's the thing. Like there's no small talk. I mean, you get to it, Robyn. Just I don't know how to be fake, you get what you get if you either like me or not. And so fortunately, there's a lot of people who like just appreciate what we've got and like being authentic and like knowing that they can be themselves and that they have a place to fit in because we are those girls that are usually one of the guys, It just creates a better environment that way.
Yeah, totally. Any parting thoughts? Anything we missed that you wanted to touch on?
I don't know. It's so good to see you. I'm still mad at you for not coming to conference, but hopefully you have it on your calendar for next year.
Oh yeah. I mean, you didn't even have to put shame on me. I put shame on myself.
Well, registration is September 1st at midnight. So grab your ticket because you'll get an email with the link to buy a ticket. Get one then because I think it's going to sell out quickly again.
Yeah, it does every year.
The theme is pretty fun. We've got this princess with the AR and this dragon. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Nobody celebrates like we do.
I know, that's for sure. Well, Robyn, it's a pleasure to see you yet again. I hope it's not the last time I see you, though, on the show, because I think a yearly update would be a great idea.
I love it. I'm happy.